if you manage a raid team or a couple raid teams, yeah, we'll say a couple raid teams in Classic, and they're 40 mans, quite likely you have 70 or more individuals around the age of 30 that you play with. And what this means is that on any given week, somebody's going to a funeral. Somebody's getting divorced. Somebody's getting fired. Someone's going to fail a test when they're trying to change their life and switch careers. Someone's getting cheated on. They're fighting with their kids or their wife or their husband. And sometimes they're going to show up to your raid and they're going to do a bad job. So they're going to warn you about it. If they trust you a lot, they're going to warn you about it. Or they trust you a lot, they'll tell you what's happening. And that's the reason that they won't be at the raid. And it's very hard for people to do this. And if people aren't doing this in your raid team, it doesn't mean you're not worthy of trust, because it's really difficult for people to share bad experiences with other people, since it makes you feel like telling somebody something bad will make you feel needy or demanding of them in some way normally. Definitely, it's not going to make you feel great. And these individuals, they'll be worried about seeming like they're making a undue cry for help, or they're violating some boundary with you. They're going to have all these racing thoughts when they're trying to think, well, I can't make raid, or I can't do my best. And this will conflict with their respect for you, and they'll want to tell you the truth, but they're not going to know how they're going to do it. And so, like, when they tell you it really means something. It really, really, really means something. And it's happening all the time. As a raider in your 40-man team, if it's a guild and it's the same people showing up, no matter what your role is in that raid group, this shit is happening to somebody every single week. And a lot of them, they're going to show up anyways, and they're hoping they're going to feel better. And a lot of times, they won't. Anything will go wrong in raid, it'll make them feel worse. They know this is coming for them. They know it's a risk. They know that probably you're not going to have the best raid ever. That doesn't happen all the time. And they feel all bad, and they're going to eat it, and they're going to suffer in there with you because they like the team, or perhaps they'll know how to take care of themselves, and so they'll just call out if that makes them feel better, whatever. And you won't know. You'll just see they're not in raid that week. And maybe they told the raid leader or some other people. And if they did, they probably did it in confidence. So if you ask, it's like, oh, I don't know, they're probably visiting family. You're going to get told something like that. You know, it kind of depends on how comfortable people are with white lies, rather than letting you know that they just absolutely can't tell you. And it's a very interesting experience if you're somebody who is in a position in a raid team where you would receive this news. Because at the start, when you first get into this, you're probably not going to be very bonded with a lot of people. And so you'll just see members missing raids with very short notice. And you'll be like, oh, this guy never does that. You'll wonder. And maybe you'll assume that they have a poor reason. Maybe in your mind, a poor reason could be, I bet they just want to get drunk at a bar and they didn't want to tell me. Oh, why'd they fucking unsign up like 12 hours before raid? What's going on? I'm so pissed. And you'll, if you're managing a roster, you'll likely have negative feelings about this, because it impacts your raid. And if you care about the raid and you put your self-worth at all on the line with how you fill the raids up or how the raids go, you're going to have negative emotions, and it's so much easier to blame other people. So much easier. And then as you keep on running groups, you'll start getting bonded with more and more of the people you play with, as long as you don't quit. Like, as long as you just keep at it and you don't quit, even if you're a real fucking prick, you're going to almost for sure end up running with a bunch of people that trust you over time. And you'll start getting told what's actually going on when they don't make it. And it's not like anybody owes you these explanations. Like my guildies tell me shit like this. I let them know that they don't need to tell me any details if they don't want to. But they can tell me any details they do want to, and I'm here to hear it. And I can't really offer them much support other than just listening. But that I'm all ears. And I sometimes get the feeling that when they tell me these things, that they'd be interested in me asking questions about it. Because I mean, if they already kind of feel forced to let you in on this intimate detail of their personal lives, then you could say they've already kind of like sunk half the cost in accepting that they like want to like talk to somebody to feel better. They've already decided that they're going to tell you why because they have a lot of respect for you and they like you and they trust you. And so now, as long as they don't have to deal with like getting over the first hump of that, like kind of like cry for help type feeling with letting people know that you're not feeling good. And I feel like you start getting a better understanding for what stuff is gonna be like in your future, because the bad things are hunting you. Like you're listening to this, like at the youngest, you're 20. If you're 20, this is gonna sound fucking crazy. If you're 40, this is gonna sound fucking obvious. Like the bad things are fucking hunting you, and you're not gonna be ready for them, and they're gonna suck. Maybe if you're like super emotionally well regulated, you'll be able to shrug them off pretty quick. But I know myself, at least I'm not. And I'll have a really difficult time when people in my family start dying more, or if other if any of those other issues that I listed before, if any of those were to ever happen to me, like it would be so bad. I definitely wouldn't be able to make a raid. Hell, the only raids I've missed in the past like 3 years have been a couple times I've canceled a raid because we didn't have enough people, and every other time someone died. Every single other time. And that always sucks. And it's weird. It's a neat privilege in this game that you get to run into so many people and you get to do something together that requires each other's presence, and you can develop bonds with them and you really care about them, and you get lots of different ways to place your trust in each other, especially if you keep at it for years and years and years. And that's a special thing that I don't think most video games offer. I'm positive most video games don't offer that. I've had a lot of really crazy experiences in this game. Like I remember I had a guildie who was like my first WoW best friend. That's what it felt like. I'm sure the feeling wasn't mutual because I was 12 and they were like 25. But like the guy felt like my WoW best friend at the time. And I remember that this guy was very happy. He had graduated with an electrical engineering degree and he'd gotten a job offer at Boeing, and he was so excited how he was going to finally be making some real money, and him and his fiance were going to get imminently married and start having kids. And I didn't really get what was so special about the having kids or the getting married soon thing, but I knew it was special to him. I was smart enough to know that. And he told us he had to undergo a routine surgery and miss a raid. And we never saw him again because he died. Or another crazy thing I had happen in WoW is I had a twos and threes arena partner named Walker. And we would get into so much shit together, like crazy stuff. We would go on the arena tournament realm, and we were pretty good. We were like 23, 2400 rated players, and he was a real smooth talker. And this guy would like make shit up and like convince these rank 1 players on other battle groups that, oh yeah, you know, we're like multi rank 1 glads, like come do the 100 required games on the tournament realm with us. And then we'd be playing with these dudes, and they'd be asking questions about like how our matches like were going on the live servers, and I would just act like I was really shy, and he just bullshit these guys, and we'd play a bunch of matches, and I usually they wouldn't think anything about it, which was honestly a fucking miracle because we were nowhere near that good. Well, maybe he was. I definitely wasn't. And I bounced around for years with this dude, doing all sorts of shit in the game, and we'd quit and come back and talk to each other. We used to hang out in Skype for hours, like every day. He was a little older than me. Like he was probably like 19, something like that. And I was like 14, 15, just before I quit WoW. And one day he told me that he had to quit the game, and he also could never speak to me again because he had just too much fun hanging out, and he was ruining his life, and he's going to drop out of college, and he's like super depressed, and he was just like coping by having these good internet friends, and he had to just cut himself off from all of us and work on his problems. And that was really tough, but since it's so many years separated from the present, it's a great story. It's a great story. And tons of other experiences like this I've had in the game that they're sad, but enough time has passed that now they're kind of just interesting. It's crazy to think that there are other gamers out there that instead of getting the chance to experience all of this, they'd rather just queue in League of Legends or Dota, or play Counter-Strike, Rust, or some other shit. They have no idea what they're missing out on.